Some people have a favorite sports team, others collect vintage cars, and then there are those who can identify the sound of bacon sizzling from the parking lot and who feel a strange amount of joy when someone says, scattered, smothered, and covered, when the Waffle House cup breaks.
Can't say that on Christian radio.
My name is Therese Main.
My name is Jesse Gabel. And in the world of sports and expensive collector cars and Waffle House, I think I have the most economic hobby, okay?
Yeah.
Let's throw it under the bus here.
You're obsessed, though, with Waffle House.
I am not obsessed with Waffle. Well, maybe a little.
Okay.
I really like Waffle House because, A, they're cheap.
Right.
B, it's breakfast food. You got to love that. C, you don't know, like you step into a Waffle House and you have no idea what it's going to get. It's like a mystery box. You know, you could witness a fight happening.
Right.
You could witness a proposal. It
right.
It could be a fire. Kitchen's on fire.
Right. You just
Anything
never
could
know.
be happening. And they're open 24/7. They don't close during like severe weather and storms and stuff. It's an interesting place. You don't have that much character in a McDonald's. Come on.
No, it's not like that. You're right. It is something truly special. So obviously we don't have Waffle House in our part of the world. We work at a radio station called Family Life, host a radio show together in the afternoon called
that's
Main and
important.
Gabel.
Sorry, I didn't mention that.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. You can always listen at familylife.org. But in our area, there is not a Waffle House. So Jesse only gets to go when he travels. Mm-hmm. So I had been traveling to Tennessee, where, of course, there is a plethora of Waffle Houses.
Oh, so jealous.
And so I decided to see if they would sell me any merchandise. Do you have anything that T-shirt, hat, whatever? And they said, well, we have our mugs. And I said, I'd like to buy a mug. And they said, I don't think we're allowed to sell the mugs. And I said, okay, is there anything that you can buy? And they said, well, sometimes we sell the mugs, but we've had a lot of mugs break lately, so I don't think that we can sell the mugs now. And
That's
I'm like,
foreshadowing.
I'm like, well, is there somebody who you can call about me buying a mug, because I'm from out of town. I got to get this from my friend who really likes Waffle House. And so they call two managers and nobody answers. And so I said, well, that sort of sounds like you've been given the permission to sell me a mug. So they reluctantly sold me this Waffle House mug. They carefully wrapped it in the brown paper towels that they used to wipe off the booths.
Oh,
and
I love that
threw it
detail.
into a plastic Waffle House bag. And then I brought it home from my trip to Jesse. But I did tell a little white lie. I told Jesse that they don't sell them, but that I stole it.
Yeah.
Which wasn't true. But I did tell you pretty quickly afterwards that he didn't really steal it. That it was just...
well, when I later pulled my prank on you, I told you about it later, too.
Right, you sure did. After I found you out is what the problem is. So fast forward.
What happened is I just got a dastardly idea in my noggin one day. I wonder if I could trick Therese into thinking I broke my mug. Not because, I'm that much of a jerk. That's why. And I'm not a big fan of AI. We've talked about that here and there on the podcast before. But the little mischievous part of me didn't care. I was like, ChatGPT, make this mug look like I dropped it on the floor and broke it. And it did. It cooked up a pretty convincing looking image. It's actually on our Main and Gabel, our Family Life Behind the Mic Facebook page, I should say. Our Facebook group. And, you can tell if you look at the logo long enough, it doesn't quite match up.
Fake.
But at first glance, it was pretty convincing. So I sent it to Therese and I said, I can't believe I just did this. Look, this is the worst morning ever.
Sure.
And she bought it. I don't know when she realized that it was AI, but I know that she bought it for long enough to post it on Facebook. And now I have people coming up to me at my home church, in my hometown, and my family saying, I'm so sorry about your Waffle House mug that broke. And I have to either just roll with it or tell them, no, actually, I kind of a jerk. I lied.
Mm-hmm. You did lie, Jesse.
Well, but so did you. So don't act all high and mighty here.
So I wish that I could say that I figured it out on my own.
Are you going to tell me how you figured it out?
I'm debating if I should.
On a podcast?
I don't think I can tell you who told me that you...
One of your daughters saw it.
No. It was somebody who we work with who saw you with your fully intact Waffle House mug. And
Did
they said...
Mel from Middays betray me?
I shan't confirm nor deny.
No, I thought I could trust her. That or it was Tim Power. But this is not the time or place to try to figure that out.
Not the time or place to throw your coworkers underneath the bus that's rolling into the Waffle House parking lot.
Oh.
You know, we do have to be careful about things that can become obsessions. And I know Waffle House isn't truly an obsession with you, but there are good gifts that God has given that can become bigger than him in our lives. You know, there's the scripture, Matthew, that says where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And it is easy for things to become idols in our lives. And that's where we kind of have to be careful. Enjoying Waffle House isn't the issue. You know, God isn't against hash browns, but it's that every good gift has to go back to the giver. So as you're enjoying a warm breakfast, you can be reminded of how God provides. You know, a cup of coffee every day reminds me of his faithfulness every single morning. And so as long as we kind of keep our, I hate to say obsessions because I know you're not really obsessed with it. You are a fan.
Jesse's addiction to Waffle House.
Yeah, it's
is
not
obsession.
that point. But things can get to that point, you know, for people. And so that's kind of where the Bible comes into this. Now, we cannot let artificial things shape our real emotions. That fake image of that coffee mug, I mean, if you look at it long enough, you know it's fake. But there's a lot of stuff on the internet that doesn't look fake. And it's funny because I saw something online the other day. I saw a reel and I was like, ooh, I like that. And I emailed it to myself so that I would remember it. And then today I opened it up on my computer so much bigger. And I was like, oh, that sweet old lady, she's fake. That's not real at all. I couldn't tell on my phone because it's itty bitty. But when I saw it on the big screen, I was like, well, that's, I don't like that at all because I had actually gotten like emotionally invested in this piece. Now, I had gotten emotionally invested in a good way, but how many people get emotionally invested in a bad way with something that's fake? You know, you see something online and you're like, oh, and you get all outraged about it, you know, whether it's something political or social or whatever it is. And it just makes you so mad. But it's not real.
Yeah.
And here we are wasting this effort that we have. We only have so much energy in a day, so many hours in a day, so many minutes in our life. And if we're wasting any of it on stuff that's fake, we're really stealing from the kingdom because we could be using it on something real and important.
I think a lot of what we consume from the internet is in one of two camps. It's either entertainment or it's news, for lack of a better word. Even if you're not like clicking on news articles or watching news channels, you might be scrolling Reddit or Instagram and you kind of get a feel for where the world's at. If something major happens, you hear about it. And I just think like for thousands and thousands of years, you had no way of knowing what was going on the other side of the world. You had no way of knowing what was going on in this foreign country. Like, unless somebody walked here from there and told you, and by then the news was months old, like, you just had no clue. But we feel this need to, like, constantly be informed on what's going on. Or, you know, maybe I need to go and buy canned food and hunker down and hoard toilet paper because something bad could happen. Fear consumes us. And if we're not consuming news like that, we're consuming entertainment. And it's just dopamine, especially when you can scroll. And half of what I see now in my feed is probably AI anyway. Or it's just the same old videos churned out again and again and again. And it's just, it's useless entertainment. It's not bearing any fruit in my life. So I think especially, not just in the world of AI, but that's a really good example. I think it's okay to step away. It's okay to say, yeah, I don't need to be entertained by this. I don't want to be deceived by this. I don't want to be worried by this. Whether it's news or whether it's entertainment, whether it's real or whether it's fake, I think we can make that an idol. We can make that an obsession. There's that word that we like so much.
I just had something cross my mind. What is entertainment? And I think it kind of goes into play with this concept of emotions that we were talking about some. Entertainment makes you feel a certain way. You know, if you go to a scary movie, you like that it makes you feel fear. If you go to see a comedy, you like that it makes you feel happy. Even if you see like a drama, it makes you feel sad. There's something about entertainment that makes you feel a certain way. And where I think that we've crossed the line now with news and especially information that maybe isn't authentic is that it's designed to make us feel angry or fearful or jealous or all of these things. I really do believe that in a lot of ways, especially with, news organizations that you see, major networks, when they moved news into the entertainment divisions of their businesses, that's when it became about making us feel a certain thing.
Yeah.
And so maybe as we look at information, one of the things that I need to ask is, like, does this make me feel a certain way? And if it does, what's the motivation behind it?
Why am I consuming this?
Yeah, why does somebody want me consuming this? On the backside, why would somebody put this out there in front of me to make me feel a certain way? Because there's probably a nefarious motivation behind it, and I'm probably being manipulated a little more than I want to. At the heart of it comes this scripture from Paul. Brothers and sisters, whatever is true, and it goes on and on and on. Think about such things. But the first one is whatever is true. That's in Philippians 4:8. And so before you look at anything else on that list, is this true? And a lot of times, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's true. I'll see news stories and people will say, oh, did you hear such and such a politician this? And I kind of go in my soul, I don't know if that's true. Do I know if it's untrue? No, but I don't know if it's true. So I'm not going to let that park in my brain because God knows I only have so much space in that brain. And I've barely got room right now for the things that I have to actually think about. Also, Jesse, I want you to know that only Christ is unbreakable. Your mug didn't really break, but at some point it might, and that treasure will be burnt up someday. And so cherish it for what it is right now, knowing that Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That is in Hebrews 13. And that's something that you can take to the Waffle House.
Oh, man, and I will not drop Jesus on the Waffle House floor to see if he breaks.
I can't say that on Christian radio.
Thanks for listening. If you liked this episode, you could subscribe, maybe. And if you really liked it, you could always say so by making a gift to Family Life, the ministry this podcast is a part of. Just go to familylife.org and find out more about what we do.
Our producer is Josh Allen. How could we ever thank you enough? Did you know that Family Life offers a variety of podcasts? Get up to date with Family Life news, including the Noon Report and the 5 o'clock reports. There's If That Makes Sense, a conversation for Christians in their 20s. They're all free and on demand at familylife.org/podcast.